Hey, cousins. I want to approach this as calmly as possible, but I already know I'm going to get annoyed real quick, especially after that episode of Raw. Listen, I want to say that Raw been sucking for a very long time, but I always want to approach things from a different angle. I don't want to sit here and just be going on and on and on about how the shit sucks. We all know it sucks. I just want to tell you what the show's about. But yesterday, that really just took me all the way out, child. I mean, good grief. Can a bitch get a break? With that being said, Chody Rhodes is in the news. And not because he's fantastic, but really because he's a fucking idiot. And I'm not really sure who Chody Rhodes thinks he's talking to. I think he thinks he's talking to a bunch of dummies. And he may be. Because some of the wrestling community act like a bunch of fucking flaming idiots. They like to act dense, confused, don't know what's going on, deflect, and all of the thinking errors you could think of to, really fuck up what pro wrestling is for most of us, for the most part. I remember Roman Reigns said Cody was a politician. He knows how to politic. He knows how to be everything for everybody, but he don't know how to be himself. And I have always said when Roman Reigns said that, he did not miss the mark. What am I talking about? So Cody Rhodes was down to the Boston Hero with Justin Perazzo, okay? And somehow the question of WWE and its political affiliation came up. But it's not just the only thing that he talked about in this comment, in this article. Now, I had to do the Thug Thizzle way and take screenshots because for whatever reason, Boston Herald told me that I've been to the Boston Herald website and I reached my limit. And that was the first time ever, I think, I've ever read the Boston Herald. So I went ahead and before the paywall popped up, took some screenshots so we could get into this article before we get into the explosive part. So he sings WWE's praises. He's so excited to fight John Cena at SummerSlam and whoop the damn whoop. I'm not excited by any of it because it's all regurgitated, recycled nonsense and bullshit. Nothing is exciting to me on the card except Naomi needs to keep her title. That's really about it. So this is the quote that you've probably heard. Some people are like really breaking it down, but I'm going to give my little 2 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents on it. It says, and I quote, "There is a responsibility to our fan base," Cody said. "I don't want to be negative, but I will say there's a whole gotcha culture over who's a Democrat or who's a Republican, who's a moderate, and who people support. None of these things really should be anybody's business because our business is going to where our show goes, which is all over the world and hopefully bringing people together. Are you fucking stupid? Who told Cody to make that comment in this political climate? Yes, it is your business whether you vote Democrat or Republican. But it's obvious WWE's allegiance. It's obvious. It's bold and it's in your face. You got Roman Reigns in his soft life era literally putting out there, yeah, I voted for Donald Trump. Didn't nobody ask him? Didn't nobody need to know that? But he felt the need to say it. You have Stephanie McMahon's daddy all up and through the White House with his dildos and dookie shoe pants. Okay? You have Stephanie McMahon's mama literally destroying the Department of Education from inside out. Now, y'all don't understand what the Department of Education does. You'll understand it when the shit ain't there and your kids or you can't get a quality education. That's neither here nor there right now. You can't tell me you're bringing people together of all walks of life when we're seeing said Linda McMahon down to a goddamn congressional hearing lying and Paul Levinsky and his wife and his brother-in-law, everybody is sitting back there and she getting sworn in to be the next educational secretary, a job she has absolutely no business being in. Didn't have no business being a small business secretary either. Because there's an allegiance that Trump has to the WWE. It was okay when he wasn't a threat to society. It's not okay no more. When he was walking around and fucking around in New York and the rappers was putting them in they in their little raps and I got Trump money and whoop 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 and he taking pictures saying it was all good. But now he's making policy that's affecting people and their lives and making comments and stuff that's putting people in danger. And you mean to tell me this fucking company is nonpartisan? Get the fuck out of here. Cody goes on to say, WWE is a nonpartisan brand. We go where the show goes. One of the biggest eye-opening moments when you go to Saudi Arabia with WWE is when you look at the fans at the show, at the meet and greets, or outside the hotel, and there's such a similarity between those who are hungry for WWE back home and those who are hungry for it in Europe and those who are hungry for it all over the world. I feel honored, especially in tumultuous times, to be able to go. Um, Cody, you should have ran for office in Georgia. Cody claims that a couple people in the Democratic and the Republican Party approached him to be run for some office in Georgia. And he just said, I don't think I'm ready for that. Everyone isn't able to be moderate and we're all moderate. And I don't think I would be able to do that. Yeah, I want to make policy because policy affects people. Oh, really, Cody? You policy affects people. I don't think people know how much their government plays a role in their fucking life. And here's the thing: you're talking about Europe, you're talking about Saudi Arabia, you're talking about people back home, as if there isn't a cultural, racial, classist divide across all of this. You go to Saudi Arabia, and there's no women sitting around in the front because the women have to be chaperoned by the men. The women have to be covered up. The women. Okay? If you are going all over the world, why aren't you all up and through the Middle East? And I ain't just talking about Saudi Arabia. Won't you go to Syria, Iraq, Iran? Go to them places too. No, we gonna go where the money at. That's what he meant to say. People are hungry. No, you're starving people on purpose so you could gouge prices. Now it's too much fucking wrestling. And honestly, ain't nobody got real access to it except people who are willing to blow credit cards and all this other bullshit to see the same 7 people wrestle in this big ass company. Cody goes on to say, to wrap this out, another memory from Boston suddenly seized Cody's attention. It took place in the fall of 2009 at the SmackDown 10-year anniversary show, an 8-man tag featuring a bevy of stars with John Cena, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H against CM Punk, Randy Orton, Rhodes, and Ted DiBiase. Can we get into Ted DiBiase? That man literally robbed everybody and their goddamn mama. Robbed everybody and their mama for the food stamps. And it's just like, well, Ted DiBiase ain't no big deal. He made me feel good as a wrestler. After the broadcast, confetti dropped on The Undertaker while he was mid pose on one knee, said a smiling Rose. That was a bit of a rib from the people in the gorilla position. I'll never forget his reaction. Let's just say Taker wasn't happy about it. Yeah, because he wants to look tough and be tough, and he's so deep in his fucking character that confetti just took him over the line. Listen, this whole thing about WWE being a nonpartisan brand is a fucking joke. I don't know who told him it was a good idea to even have this conversation. I hope I never hear about Bianca Belair and the way she votes. I hope I never hear about Naomi and the way she votes, or Jade Cargill and the way she votes, or the Street Profits and the way they vote, or Io Sky if she does vote, because I don't think she votes. or maybe she votes for the Conservative Party in Japan. I hope I don't never hear about it. Okay? Because I didn't